In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, my name is Maryam Abaro Haruna. And I welcome you to LSWK Sharia Law sessions with Maryam Haruna. On today's episode, we'll be looking at and discussing Pre-Islamic Arabia. First and foremost, what is Arabia? Arabia refers to the Arabic countries. In other words, it is also known as Jazratul Arab. Arabia in its literal meaning means a desert or a barren place. Now, Arabia happens to be at the crossroad of three continents. First Africa, second Europe, and third Asia. The few countries, present-day countries that make up Arabia, the Arabian Peninsula. It is the Arabian Peninsula. Arabia is also known as Arabian Peninsula. So the countries that make up the Arabian Peninsula, the present-day countries, we have Yemen, we have Saudi Arabia, we have United Arab Emirates, we have Jordan, we have Palestine, we have Syria, etc., etc., etc. Now, after the Pre-Islamic Arabia, after the explanation of the Arabia, would be looking at the inhabitants during the Pre-Islamic Arabia, the people who actually inhabited that particular geographical area during the Pre-Islamic Arabia, that is the time of ignorance, this period of Jahiliyyah. The two sets of people are, the first set of persons are the city dwellers, and the second set of persons are the Bedouins, that is people who dwell in the desert, in the forests. The Bedouins, the city dwellers are they are educated, they're politically conscious, and they have their own businesses. They know very well how to till the soil and how to cultivate the soil and how to plant in the soil, even though their land isn't very fertile, but they still know how to do it. So they're politically conscious, unlike the Bedouins. Now, the Bedouins are people who live from one place to another. They take themselves and their families, they move from one place to another, making tents. They stop at a place, but they don't stay long there. They pack themselves and they move to another place where they stay temporarily. This type of life they're living can also be referred to as a nomadic life, because they depend on their cattle, they depend on their cattle fairs, they depend on their cattle for food, and they depend on their cattle for milk, and they also depend on fruits gotten from the trees. That is, whenever they are passing by, they are not educated, they are not politically conscious, and they don't even do businesses. So what they do, the way they make a living, is they hunt, and also they raid. Raiding is a very essential part of a Bedouin's life, because it aids their day-to-day activities and also their survival. Their day-to-day activities, meaning the way they feed, they have to raid to feed. And also attacks and counter-attacks, they are norms. They are a normal thing for a Bedouin. Tribal clashes, fights between this tribe, very unnecessary fights. They are illiterate. So what do you expect from an illiterate person? Unnecessary fights without cause, vendettas, killings, unjustifiable killings. You just kill somebody just like that because you don't know the worth of the person's life, just because the person is not part of your tribe, or the person mistakenly entered your farm. You just kill him. So unjustifiable killings, it happened then during the Pre-Islamic Arabia. Then tribalism is the main feature of their social life, and also their tribal system actually supports constant fighting amongst the Arabs. By way of recap, I had explained Arabia and how Arabia refers to Arabic countries and how it is also known as Jazratul Arab. I also talked a little on the geographical location of Arabia as it stands at the crossroad of three continents. The first is Asia, and the second is Europe, and the third is Africa. Also, I mentioned a few from amongst the Arabic countries, and I had also spoken on the inhabitants of the pre-Islamic Arabia during the period of Jahiliyyah, and I mentioned them to be the Bedouins and also the city dwellers, and how the Bedouins are illiterate, sorry, and how the city dwellers are literate and educated and have businesses. And also I had spoken deeply on the Bedouins, and I explained the way they fight, the way they actually encouraged reading as and how reading is an essential part of their life. And thank you so much. As we come to the end of this episode, please don't forget to also follow us and also anticipate for more videos from us. Thank you so much, and bye bye.